Oh shit, why is this so far away? I didn't account for this. Why is it so far away now? The fuck is going on? Who was in the podcast room playing with my goddamn mic? Why is this mic not reaching now? The fuck is going on in here? Why do I sound like Mark Wahlberg? Mark Wahlberg is my favorite accent or impression to make fun of. Hey guys. He just always sounds tired and out of breath. That's literally all you have to do to do a Mark Wahlberg impression, is literally just be out of breath and ask questions, dumb questions. Hey guys, what's going on? I think this might be a transformer. And you repeat questions, like if someone's like, you're gonna go down. Well, I'm gonna go down. I don't think so. Say hello to your mother for me, all right? We didn't even sing a song. Never mind, I'll find someone like you. Ooh, I wish nothing but the best for you. On Monday, singing my songs for you. I don't know if you guys heard that, but Beowulf was not having that shit right now. Happy Monday, ladies and gentlemen. Beowulf doesn't like Adele, I guess. Speaking of Adele, she is a smoke show now. Straight smoke show. Dime piece. Have you guys seen her? If you haven't, Google. First go Google 2 Girls, 1 Cup. And then go Google Adele. Adele now. And now Adele in shape. Bars. Bodied up. You know? She is. Now she can sing and she looks the way she looks now. I don't want to be impolitically correct and say that she is a sex symbol. That's the thing, is it's like we've hit such a weird place where like you can't even say like, wow, that's amazing, she looks so good now. And people are just like, she looked good before. Okay, you're holding her to these standards, and canceled. I don't give a fuck. Good morning, Vietnam. Adele has some hits though. Adele has the albums that I will listen to on repeat over and over again. What was it, 21 and then 25? She's gonna drop a banging 30. I don't know how old she is now, but they're just how old she is. 25 was phenomenal. Rolling in the Deep, Someone Like You, Hello, Bars. That whole album is phenomenal. She might be my top songwriter of this current generation, if you will. Amazing songwriting ability. There's something that's so... because if you don't know, your boy dabbles. Your boy dabbles in all the music genres. But I really love hip-hop, and I got a history with it. Got a love, intertwined history with it. Writing hip-hop music compared to regular songs... There's a give and take. It could be harder to write hip hop, but it also can be harder to write songs, because check this, kids. When you're writing hip hop bars, you got a 16 bar. The tempo is just faster. The tempo by nature, you can go study this, kids. Just take out a piece of paper and a pen and do a scientific study if you want. You have a lot more words, a lot more you have to fill up in a hip hop song. So you have to write a lot more. So it's like it's a longer paragraph, if you will. It's like a 3-page paper compared to a 1-page when you're writing hip hop, because it's a faster tempo. You have to fill it all up. But here's the other side to that. When you're writing a song, you have such less margin for error. You can just go with the rhyme scheme in hip hop, just ba 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 ba, and you can make every fourth one have like a sick a bar, if you will, just to wrap it all up. A big setup. You get more room to play with it. But when you're writing music like Adele, less margin for error. So you got to make sure all those lines make statements. You know, bars. Oh, I love me some Adele. That dude, love songs during breakups and shit, just going through hard shit. They hit different, and you just sit there and you're just like, and I keep bleeding, keep bleeding love. No one. I remember I was going through a breakup when I was in Puerto Rico. And I remember this girl, she ended up trying to hook up with me. But she was somehow trying to like, she was like, you should listen to this song and you should listen to this song. And she was only sending me really sad songs to like make it worse. It was like, when a heart break, no, it don't break even. What am I supposed to do when the best part of me was always you? And I remember writing her and being like, hey, how's this going to help me right now? Okay. You know, maybe send me an article about optimism or, you know, 5 steps to get over your love, you know, or what you thought was love. Speaking of what I thought was love, segue, my girl tried to kill me this morning. It's Monday morning. She left the house for work. And you know, she's working quarantine and everything in an office. She tried to kill me. And there's a conspiracy going on that she didn't do this intentionally. You know, she trying to play it off. And that's what serial killers do. Here's my version of it. Here's her version first. I wake up at a cool 8:30, you know, that's when your boy starts his day sometimes 7:30. And, but I didn't sleep too good last night. So I woke up about 8:30. Anyway, I look over, I get on my Apple Watch, bars. I'll be honest, it's starting to get a little annoying to wear a watch all the time, but back to the story, rabbit holes. I look at my text. I got a text. Hey, just a heads up. When I was leaving, a giant spider snuck in the door and went under the drywall. And it also had a little sidekick that followed it, but had to go to work. Love you. You'll be fine. What? She basically was just like, you know, good luck. May fate ever be in your favor. And just left me there with a couple vigilantes in the apartment. And I'm like, oh, cool. And when she says a giant spider, I'm like, okay, all right, whatever. Here's what really happened. Okay, this is like the part in the movie where they show the ending right before, like at the beginning of the movie, and then it's like freeze, and then it's like, you're probably wondering how I ended up here, you know, like as the main character's getting killed. Now we're going back to what really happened. I wake up, you know, or I'm sleeping. She's been plotting my death for months. You know, this whole pandemic, it's getting at everybody. Everybody's relationship has strain on it right now, right? If you're not in a constant turf war and gang war with your significant other, are you really even in a relationship right now? Okay, things get tense. She's been plotting my death for months. Okay, death bars. She's been trying to poison me, but guess what? Your boy was a human garbage disposal growing up. Okay, you can put anything in his stomach. This tum-tum of mine is gonna break it down. I'm a survivor. Did you guys forget? Your boy's a vasectomy, baby? Forgot that fact. You ain't killing me with some fucking poison. Making me digest it. So here's what she did. After she was seeing that she was wasting a lot of money and her whole stimulus check on food poison, she switched to hitman. But she knows that I train in the deadly arts of the death touch, and knew that she might lose her investment if she actually sent henchmen in here. So what did she do? Plus, Beowulf has my back. Beowulf might get scared of other dogs when we're at the dog park and it embarrasses the shit out of me. If someone steps foot in here, Beowulf goes to DEFCON 4. She's ready to die for this motherfucker. All right? Back to the story. My girl hires spider assassins. She knows I get a little tired on Monday morning, so she's like, you know what? This is the perfect time to make my attack. She's been posing for years to be afraid of spiders just to set up this moment. So this attempted murder on my life goes all the way back years before. This morning while I'm sleeping, I'm slumbering, thinking about butterflies and dragons and shit. Thinking about all the people I made watch 2 Girls, 1 Cup last night by posting it in my story. I didn't know so many people would actually go watch it. Woke up to about 21 DMs. People upset with me. Welcome to the internet, motherfuckers. Back to the story. While I'm slumbering, just giggling to myself in La La Land, she's coercing with hitmen in the hallway. A giant black widow. The fact that it was black does not matter to me. Okay, that's okay. Canceled. Great. Giant black widow. Its name, Steve. Its little sidekick, Joe. Because it reminds me of like Joe Pesci. I get the text message, she pays them however she paid them. I'm sure it was in some form of a tariff, maybe gold, the gold standard that will hold up during the pandemic. I don't know how they made the transaction, but it was done. When I wake up, I get the text and I'm like, oh, cool. You left me here to die. Cool. I know where your loyalty lies. I walk out into the hallway. I check to the left. I check to the right. Nothing. I'm like, oh, cool. They probably went out or they're somewhere. They're just spiders. I'm not really scared of spiders. Plus in Ventura, there's just tons of spiders everywhere. And when she said it was a giant spider, I just figured it was like one of those wolf spiders or something that wouldn't kill me. I go about my morning, go make my coffee and everything. Then I start walking back down the hallway. All of a sudden, on the fucking ceiling, this spider starts dropping down on me as if it just came out of gulag and was just like, turn up, and tried dropping down on me. It saw me take a defensive stance with the death touch. I don't know if they work on arachnids, I take a defensive stance, it back onto the ceiling, and it's just waiting like this. Its henchman, its little sidekick, Joe Pesci, I don't know where it's at. But this giant ass spider, listen, I am not exaggerating when I tell you it was over an inch in circumference. All right, this thing was bigger than $50. Giant ass spider. It had a butt like a jelly bean. All right, this thing was packing. This thing was thick, dumb thick. This spider looks like it was eating avocado and shit, just fucking junk in the trunk. And it was probably all juiced up with poison. Who knows? And she played dumb. She acted like she didn't intentionally do this. And here's the other. So ultimately, I kill it because when it comes to those moments, your boy performs. Okay, you want to put it out on my life? Well, I'm ready to fight to the death, motherfucker. Are you? Scorched earth. I will meet you with fire and brimstone. Okay? We're going to the death. We're going to the death. There's two things I'll fight for. My life and fucking bone and wings. Okay? To the death. And I killed that motherfucker. With the dustpan. I murdered it. In cold blood. I don't give a shit. It came here with self-defense. But here's the fucked up part of the story. Its sidekick, still out there. Little vigilante. Just waiting for me like Wanda in Endgame when she's like, you took everything from me. And I'm like, I don't even know who you are. Little spider sidekick. Little Joe Pesci. What am I, a clown? Do I amuse you? It's fucked up. So that's what I've been dealing with. Living with a goddamn murderer, a serial killer. She watches all these goddamn serial killer documentaries and just always learning. She's always taking notes and shit. Has a magnifying glass. Always ready. She's like, they're like talking about what poison is. She's like, huh, you think they sell that on Amazon? And I'm like, why? She's like, no reason. No reason. I'm out here fighting for my fucking life, I got the pandemic out there and some other demic that's bad in here, okay? I couldn't think of something fast enough. But welcome to Monday, people. Welcome to my life. A couple comedians I know now have gotten corona. People I'm personally attached to, where we met and we've done sets and everything. Sent out a little my corona immunity booster for a couple people. Whenever people get corona and I see it on Instagram, I DM them and I'm like, here, take this, take that, like Diddy, but it's crazy. And honestly, I'm gonna get an antibody test because when I start reading some of the symptoms, and it's probably a hypochondriac tendency, but I just have been so tired lately. I really have, and just worn out, and I'm just like, and they're doing free antibody tests in my area. So I'm like, I'm going to go get it. Why not? Because then if I get the antibody, your boy's like Blade, okay? I'm just walking around a fucking daywalker, like just move safely in the world, just dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun, dun. That's what part of it is. I think that's also the anxiety of the pandemic, is that a lot of people, you just want it to get it and get it over with, because I'm not really scared of how harsh it is going to be on me. Okay, your boy takes his vitamins. I've been taking them Flintstones every day. Okay, try to do a little bit of exercise. It's getting harder to keep motivation in pandemic or in quarantine, but you know, it is what it is. But I'm not really worried about actually succumbing to coronavirus myself personally. It's more of a kumbaya thing of why I'm worried about it, is that I want people who are trying to do the right things and do have compromised immune systems, I want them to be okay, you know? Some of these people are just so fucking dumb. I saw, before I lose this thought, I want to get coronavirus over with. I think it's a matter of time before I get it. I want to get it before it starts mutating. And then it's like, oh yeah, cool, you young people aren't really dying from it. Cool, let me just level up and come back 10 times 10 with an S on the end, you know? That's what I'm worried about. Because it's going to happen. Not to freak you guys out, but it's going to mutate. That's just what naturally happens. That's why it's so dangerous when you don't commit completely to a tactic. We kind of half-ass quarantine, if we're being honest with it. I know a lot of people who didn't even quarantine online. I don't support people who didn't really do it, because I'm just like, okay, yeah, you think this is impeding on your rights? You're a fucking fool. This is a global crisis, and you think this is 5G towers and shit. Okay. But I think that's the issue when you half-ass thing. If you don't commit to it completely, you're never going to see the results. And that's the thing, is like, people think that, oh, look, nobody died, blah, blah, blah. It's the same, you know, as the flu. And it's like, you start taking away the honesty and the legitness of all of this when they start skewing numbers and we don't have actual statistics, and everybody gets so confused. So they go, the pandemic's not real. Okay. It was all a joke. Do you realize how many deaths we actually had while everybody was doing stay-in-home sheltering, quarantine? It's kind of crazy that we probably avoided so many, but I think a lot of people aren't on board with social distancing and, you know, face masks and washing your hands and all of that. And to be honest with you, when I start seeing these people, I think I'm going to make a video about it, these people who like went to Congress in Florida about how face masks were impeding on their religious beliefs and all this shit, and like why they're not going to do it. And like this one lady said, you guys are turning your back on God and this beautiful breathing system that he's created, you're throwing it out. And then there's all these dumb motherfuckers who are just like, they're literally saying they can't breathe with it on, that they have a health problem, that they don't have. There's like these like cards going around that people are like, I have this health issue and you can't ask me to disclose it, but here's my I don't have to wear a mask card. And I'm like, dude, how fucking stupid are people? Like, if you really break down what the mask means, like, how insecure are you when you start caring about a mask and having to wear it in a public place? If you want to go to the store, you know how we have things that say no shoes, no shirt, no service? Those people are forcing you to wear a shirt. Do you have a problem with that? Or is it because it's become a normal thing that you're okay with it? Because here's the thing. What's the issue with the face mask? You think it's like, some people are like, it's for them to divide us and to make us feel like not human, and it, you know, it's a subordination, and we're just, you know, giving into the government's control, and this is where it starts? Or is it that we legit have a disease that we just don't know enough about and ways to prevent it, so we're just trying to do? They fucked up. Listen, in defense of everybody, the CDC and the WHO fucked up big time. Why? Because they didn't give all the facts in the beginning, and they flip-flopped. And that's a big issue. The issue is you lost public trust. And that was a huge thing, I think, because it hurts so much. And this is where you have to start bringing in your own common sense, because it is killing people. It is an issue. The reason why they said no masks in the beginning is because they were worried about people in healthcare not having them. That was a legit thing because we weren't prepared, whether it was because Trump fired the pandemic experts in his cabinet, which is a bold move, strap cotton. Let's see if that pans out for them. But that was the reason why they did that in the beginning. It wasn't because they said it didn't work. It's because they were trying to keep enough for healthcare workers. Because, I mean, and that's pretty much a fact. If you look at it, the healthcare system was overwhelmed. Dude, I know so many nurses who they were literally like just wrapping scarves around their face. Actual nurses in the hospital having to take care of corona patients. They were wrapping scarves and shit and just trying to make anything to make them able to go in the corona ward when they had to. So that's true. That's true. But I feel like they should have handled that in a different way. But hindsight 2020. It's easy to say this shit now because people are shitty. A lot of people. And those shitty people usually ruin it for the good people. Just like all the people who bought all the toilet paper in the beginning of all this. Those are the shitty people, no pun intended. Kind of pun intended. I knew what I was doing right there. But because those kind of people exist, it would be nice if he came out and said, hey guys, Fauci, we know just based on the nature of diseases and prevention that a face mask is effective in transferring from person to person. While this is important to protect yourself at this moment in time, our hospital systems are being overwhelmed, and we need to give priority to N95 masks to our healthcare workers. It's important to protect yourself, but at this point, there is a higher priority for these specific masks for our healthcare providers. That would have been a great way to handle it. But here's the truth. People don't give a shit. You know why I know this? Because when this was all popping off, your boy has had a couple N95 masks just in my tool bag because handy as fuck. Your boy has about 15 years of construction experience. I'm going to have a couple masks lying around. But when this all started happening, before it was quarantine pandemic, when it was like, oh, this is going there, I went to Walmart to get some supplies, and I went there for masks. Just to have a couple, because I knew I had a couple old ones, but I should probably get a couple more. And at that time, I only thought I had one. So I had to make sure I had enough for the woman who's trying to kill me with spiders. Hashtag thoughtful AF. So I go there, and they're all sold out of masks. And I asked the person, I'm like, oh, it says you have a couple in stock. Is there anything? No, we're all out. And they're like, people have been coming in and buying them, like early on, they're buying them, like all of them. They were just 50, 60 of them. And not only that, they had to put them all behind the counter. They're like, there's too many people buying them and buying all of them. And then there was people outside scalping them like they're fucking tickets. Masks that they paid like $15 for a pack, they were trying to get $100 for them. This is why we can't have nice things. Because shitty people do exist. There's people, but we knew this. There's people out there who eat boneless wings. So we know there's shitty people out there, And that's what just pisses me off the most. We can keep going down this mask rabbit hole, people not caring about other people. But boneless wing people, this I do love that my name has become synonymous with bone-in chicken wings, just chicken wings in general. I don't know if you guys know this, but I get DM'd a lot. Any kind of boneless or bone-in chicken wing meme, I get it. I love it. People DM me all the time. I love that I'm more synonymous with chicken wings than Steve Jobs with Apple. I'm more synonymous with chicken wings than Bill Gates with 5G. Okay? And I'm proud of that. I'm proud because guess what? I'm passionate about a lot of things. I'm passionate about food. I'm extremely passionate about chicken wings. It's one of my favorite things to do. I don't really show enough of the process behind me making chicken wings. This passion goes deeper than me. When I go to an area, if I'm in town for a couple days somewhere, you best believe your boy is Googling the best chicken wings in town. And I love to make my own. I research different recipes, different preparation, what people are doing. Shit, I'll do a 48-hour brine on some chicken wings just to try to get the most juice and flavor. I'll experiment. I'll do a 9-10 hour slow cook of some chicken wings, smoking it on the Traeger. And I'll also experiment with a really high cook on the Traeger, get that crispy outside, Maybe that's what I need to do. I need to show my chicken wing recipe and how I make them. I think you guys would appreciate the art that is behind it. I've been trying to do this for a while. This has been it's been in the making for years. Because I really like eating burgers as well, and I like going to different places to get burgers. If you guys are looking for a good burger in California, my favorite burger, and this is what makes a good burger, is obviously it's a spectrum. Okay, it's the whole experience. Sorry, I had a stroke early today. It's a whole experience. It breaks down to the French fries. Okay, that's important. If they have like garlic fries, you got to always go with the garlic fries. That's my recommendation. If you're going somewhere for a good burger and they have garlic fries, you got to get the garlic fries. You got to go all out. There's a place in town, Barrel House 101. They have some great wings, and they also have some great garlic truffle fries. And it's a good portion. Great for a fight night, But you got to get the garlic fries. But here is my number one. In California, this is my number one burger. That if anybody ever is in LA or anything, they always ask me for a recommendation. Burger Lounge. Google it. Burger Lounge. There's a location in downtown LA. There's a location near the Comedy Store in LA. There's a location in Pasadena. And there's a location in Burbank. Okay, your boys got them all figured out. There's also a couple once you start getting into Orange County, but fuck that place, huh? You got to get the grass-fed beef. That's a huge part of it. The grass-fed beef, perfect amount of condiments on the burger, and the beef is such a meaty portion with a great bun that holds it all together. Okay, the bun is very important. You don't want a soggy beef burger that's melting through the bun. It ruins the whole experience. So if you're looking for a grade A burger and you got some time to drive, Burger Lounge. Yeah, that's my recommendation. But getting off topic, I've always wanted to create some kind of mini-series on YouTube where I go to different restaurants and eat their burger and get the whole experience. I want to tour. I want to see how they make it. And also I want to do that with wings. But the pandemic has changed things, okay? It's just, it's really limited a lot of this kind of stuff. So, it sucks, but dude, life could be so much worse. That's kind of like I could like boneless wings, Here's my real issue with boneless wings before I go further. It's a flightless part of the bird, okay? And you guys want to pass it off as wings. It's more of just the disrespect to the name wing, okay? Because you disrespect every sparrow, every crow, every hawk. Hell, you were even disrespecting penguins, okay? It's a flightless part of the bird, the wing, the boneless wing. It's not made up of any wing at all. It's like chuck meat and beak meat and feet meat, and they just spin it all up. It's a nugget. It's appropriating wing culture. That's my big issue with it. You don't think if your boy, if someone has some nuggets somewhere, I'm going to eat them? I'm going to eat them because they're nuggets. But if you try to tell me, hey, we have some boneless wings. Hey, shut the fuck up. I'm leaving. Beowulf, get your things. We're out. Take my dog to parties. Because I just don't respect it. Oh, you're one of those people. Okay? Go to someone's house. Hey, they have a spread. Hey, would you like a boneless wing? Sorry, Randall. Can't be your friend anymore. Didn't realize you were a liar. Can't handle it. But, yeah. That's my life right now. I don't even know where the fuck I was going. I don't even know where I was going before that. But check it out. Your boy stays diesel. I just keep a weight on the table now. Look at that. Just getting action while I'm doing a podcast. Now I got to do the other arm. Hashtag OCD. I'm really just trying to fly on a piece of paper that's over here. So that's why I had the weights, But just hit a nice little 12 rep diesel. I'm all out of breath from that now. So many ums in this episode. I'm going to take a poll. Do you guys think we're going to be speaking Russian or Iranian or Chinese next year? Because if you guys haven't been paying attention to the world, we're probably going to war with all three of them. And it's just like, well, which one is going to kill us and enslave us, and we're going to be speaking their language? Because I'll be honest with you, I think it's going to happen. I think we're going to end up going to war with Russia, China, and Iran. There's some crazy shit going on right now with the world, and everybody is focused on getting rid of Aunt Jemima. Like, I saw this thing. This is going to be me ranting for a little bit, because I just don't understand some of these weird things that are happening. It's more of people thinking that'll fix it. You ever had a situation where something happened and let's see, what would be a good example? Some example of this. It's something that would be pointless. Like, have you ever had a friend where you're like, dude, I was going to eat that piece of cake, but then they start eating it and then they're just like, they throw it out. Like, they just throw it in the trash and they're like, I'm sorry, dude, I didn't know. And I'm like, well, what? No, that didn't do anything for the solution. Or it's like you told your friend, you're like, I don't really want to go to the movies with them, man. But you go on ahead, you have fun. And then your friend's like, no, I told them, fuck you. And I told them you didn't want to go to the movies. So now we're not going to go to the movies. I'm like, dude, what? How's that helping the solution at all? We'll stick with the cake metaphor because I think that matches up better. Is when I start seeing like all this stuff going on right now, the climate of our world. And that's the thing, is that Hollywood, this is why I've always circled from the outside in Hollywood, doing stand-up and everything. I've gone on auditions and done a few projects in LA, but I stay away from it. And the reason why is because it's such a weird world, and it's such an inclusive, secluding, segregating, virtue signaling world. And a lot of it is people wanting to virtue signal just to stay in good grace and to get social brownie points, because that's what a lot of these people run on, is just social virtuing and brownie points. It's the weirdest world ever. And it's weird because there's sometimes I'd be like going to an audition and it'd be for some role with like boxing and acting and all this stuff. And I'd be talking to some of the dudes and it'd be like boxers, and we'd just be talking and waiting and everything. And then as soon as like a director or, someone came in, a casting director, the people I would be talking to would switch who they were completely. Oh my gosh, hello, how are you? Yes, okay, this is awesome. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, this is great. I just love the direction that this is going. And I love that you guys are so inclusive with the roles and everything. It's just, it's as an Asian descendant or, as a Caucasian male, it's just awesome. As a white male in Hollywood, it's awesome to see these opportunities being given with so much diversity. And I'm just like, what the fuck just happened, dude? You were just talking a second ago about fighting and being all normal, but now you put on this character and it's this weird bow down, and it's like you're rolling over in a weird way, in a gross way, because I'm looking at them on the ground rolling over on their back and I'm like, what are you doing right now? It's embarrassing. But that's what's happening. And there's a lot of stuff you're seeing these companies do and these celebrities do that'll be like, I don't know if this is part of the solution that actually pushes forward. Like when you start seeing, there was like voice actors that are playing African-American cartoons were stepping down. They're like, I don't feel right playing this cartoon as an African-American cartoon. And they're like, this should be given to an African-American. So then on the flip side, like that's the thing is I'm just like, I try to look ahead and see where things are going and what does this actually mean if this was real equality. Does this mean that all African-American voice actors should give up their roles of any other role that wasn't African-American? Because you do realize that's the literal sense of segregation, is that we shouldn't have equality and be able to diversify more and spread out. Like I get the whole argument would probably be there's less roles for minorities in Hollywood. But did you guys see the Oscars? All the nominations? The entire thing was like minorities. And I think it's because Hollywood panders so hard to this progressive culture and cancel culture that they do it way too far. And it's such delusion and like just virtue signaling. You think that's okay to do in the podcast, Beowulf? You're just going to jingle your collar? We were on a roll. We were on a roll like a Danish. But it really is. It's such an interesting thing because that's why I look at it and I don't know. I would never want anything that I didn't earn. That's like my whole thing. And it's probably hurt me in a lot of ways because I can't take handouts. I don't want people's help that I haven't earned. I don't mind help, but I want to make sure that I earn it. I want to make sure when I'm working with people that I bring something to the table, that there's no handouts. I don't want anybody to ever hold anything over me and they'll be like, oh, you're only here because of this. I like making my own way and being independent. And I don't want anything given to me because people think that they're doing some kind of equality or something. It's just the weirdest thing ever. And I don't know if it's what pushes forward. It's a weird notion, this kind of thing. And it makes me roll my eyes because I'm just like, what? Hollywood is weird, man. Hollywood is so weird. It's also weird with, I don't know. It feels like a lot of stuff that it feels like everybody is falling for a lot of clickbait on social media, and it's dangerous to be submissive to these super progressive movements that aren't based in facts and they aren't based in valid progress. It's an interesting thing, and I think progress is great. I'm sure someone's going to take this out of context. I think progress is great, and I think we do need real equality, and I think we need real opportunity for people. It's just sometimes it's interesting because a lot of people, sorry, corona in my throat. A lot of people think that a lot of people want, it's the hypocrisy in situations that I look at. That's the thing, is I think a lot of people are too close to the forest to see the trees. Bars, one of my favorite quotes, one of my favorite sayings I love to say. You're too close to the trees to see the forest, or too close to the forest to see the trees. A lot of people in these situations, when you see these movements and these demonstrations and these protests and these slacktivism posts, what you're seeing is such hypocrisy in what is okay. You see people saying there shouldn't be allowed this whole idea of there's a few bad apples. How it spoils the bunch, you know? But then you see the lowest part of a community in a certain movement or a demonstration, and they don't claim that they're part of that movement or that organization. Like when you see this violence happening and they're saying this and they're doing this and they're like, yeah, but they don't represent what we're trying to do. The same thing could be said for all the good cops, where you're just like, yeah, the good cops are like, yeah, we don't represent those people. We're out here to protect you. And you're like, nah, if one's bad, all of it's bad. We need reform on the whole thing. But then you see these organizations and movements and you're like, oh, okay, but it's okay for you to say, to push away the lower hanging, the bottom of the barrel of your organization and only pretend that you have to be focused on the idea or the ideology behind your movement because it's your movement. You don't want to take responsibility for the lowest level of your group, but you want this other group to take responsibility of their lowest group. It's just interesting. It's interesting, the hypocrisy that we all have. And I'm involved in that too. There's tons of shit that I'm a hypocrite about. I'm sure I say things that it just wouldn't make sense. I think my whole thing, and this is why, and I've kind of detached from social media a lot lately, and I kind of am numb to these people's dumbass shit they post. But it comes down to taking multivariable situations and only allowing for one variable in them. Yes or no, black or white. No pun intended. That wasn't a racial thing. But it's like you take one thing that has so many variables in it for why it's at that point, and you want to apply one variable to it and say, this is why this is this way. And you want to throw out the other 15 things that contribute to that situation. You know, we just want to take things at surface level. Why? Because it's easy. It's not as confusing. If you want to sit there and really talk about life and actual situations and change, you're going to get yourself all turned around in a rabbit hole because you're like, shit, there is so much stuff I don't understand about this situation. There's probably playing devil's advocate and just knowing police officers. There's a lot of you that want to act like what some of these cops have done in terrible situations. You guys might act the same. Why? Because you're not disciplined. You don't understand the job. You don't understand what all the bad stuff that comes with it. It's just, I think we don't see all the sides of everything. And that's why I think it's important to like educate and talk to people. Actually try to bring them in rather than divide. That's the whole thing, that like I start throwing your arguments out when people don't want to take it. I'm like, okay, if you have this argument and these feelings, what are you doing to try to educate people that don't agree with you in a way that's bringing them into the fold rather than pushing them away? Because I think it's dangerous when you start getting this much, so many people divided. Like, I would never really have thought that we would come to another civil war. I don't know if that really is a thing. Maybe I'm just looking so far down the road of where it could lead. A lot of bad things would have to happen for it to really pop off. But I think if we don't take steps and we don't actually acknowledge, listen, I'm best friends with people I probably don't agree with their politics at all. There's probably a lot of stuff that I don't agree with. But guess what? There's a lot of stuff I do agree with, and they're good people. And it's okay to have different belief systems because everybody comes from different walks of life and different perspective on things. But yeah, that's how I feel about it. And I feel like we have to find a way to get our ego out of shit and actually be able to talk. And this goes for anything in life. Dude, when I was younger in relationships, I would look at it as an argument that I had to win, that I had to figure out, how do I win this argument? Rather than now, in being a ripe old man now, I just look at, how can we fix this problem? I don't want to win the argument. I don't want to go, haha, I win and you're wrong. I'm like, how do we just fix it? How do we move on past this as a team? And that's what I think people need to do with their whole life, is when you get in arguments with people, is not be so worried about winning with your ego and getting those feel-good points of telling someone, haha, I did this, you're wrong, you're stupid, your president did this. It's just, it doesn't help. It doesn't help the solution. Dude, whenever you get in a relationship and you're just starting to fight over wanting to prove the person wrong, be like, how could you be so stupid? That's got to be the most unhealthy, unhelpful thing there is. Calling another person in our society a racist or a bigot because of their political beliefs that they might not really be racist, it shuts them off. You're not giving them any chance to really come back from that. If you're going, you're a racist if you believe in this, why would that person ever want to actually have a discussion with you and be open to change if you're pegging them as some terrible thing, which might not be true? They might not just know your reasons for thinking that, and you might not know their reasons for voting for a certain person. And I think that's the big thing. And the only way that we're ever going to have real change is if people don't get so emotionally charged up by the media. I think that's a huge thing that people don't pay attention to, is how much the media is influencing their rage and anger, you know? But what do I know? I just almost got assassinated by a goddamn spider. But this has been 7 minutes in Evan. I appreciate all of you motherfuckers who are inside of me. And I hope you'll be back to be inside of me on Wednesday. And remember, no matter what, I love you.